far away from home and for this long, and it really teaches you responsibility.
I've made a lot of new friends.
I'm having the time of my life. I'm learning a lot. It's an incredible experience.
I think it's probably the best experience I've had in my life.
I love that the students get the opportunity to visit other countries, see other cultures, and experience a life that's different than their own.
How amazing would it be if your classroom was like that every day? If that was what learning was like? Next summer, on your Wonders of the Canadian West program, that is exactly what it will feel like. You'll have a chance to meet with archaeologists, government officials, as well as marine biologists. You'll spend a night in a teepee camp. You'll arrive in Vancouver and spend the day at the famous Stanley Park, amongst many other things. Thank you so much for welcoming me here today. My name is Alex Lee, and I was excited to see there are 2 other Alexes in the audience. And I am joining you today from our national office in Spokane, Washington. You may have been expecting Mike Kapka, who you received the letter from. He became the proud father of child number 4 on Wednesday. So he's back at home enjoying his new bundle. But I'm excited to be here with you. As a former 5th and 6th grade teacher, I love my job. As a member of my local school board, I see the value of bringing the kids outside the classroom and giving them real-world experience. And most importantly, as the mother of 2 boys, I know how it feels to sit in this room right here as a parent. I'd be wondering 2 things. Can I go instead of my child? And how in the world are you going to keep the most precious person in the world safe for 12 days in Canada? Over the next 45 minutes, we're going to review the application, interview, and selection process for this trip. While you've all been invited to be here today and learn more about the trip, you have not yet been selected to participate on this program. I'm also going to spend enough time so that you moms and dads aren't going to wonder about our safety, but you will leave here wondering why you can't go. Finally, we're going to hear from a couple other people besides myself. In the room, we have a group of alumni travelers, and those are students. Okay, give me a shout out. They're a little bit rowdy. This is what happens when your kids go on a program. They gain all sorts of self-confidence, and they get really excited. These alumni travelers are students just like you boys and girls who have sat in a room similar to this, who heard about this opportunity, and then said, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to get the letters of recommendation. I'm going to have an interview. I'm going to step out of my comfort zone. I'm going to make new friends, and I'm going to go on a people-to-people trip. So, as well as hearing from the students themselves, we're also going to hear from their moms and dads. And finally, some of the most important people here are our teacher leaders. Could you raise your hand? Thank you. Most of you checked in with our teacher leaders as you arrived here today. So, last summer, I sat in the Sydney airport in Australia with 40 delegates who 3 weeks before were complete strangers to me. And as I sat there and we were playing cards, waiting to get on the plane, to head back home, to see our family and our friends, a young girl named Carly looked up at me and said, you know, Alex, this is more money than I have ever spent. And I kind of looked at her, and she said, but the friends I made, both in my delegation, the friends I made in Australia, the 3,000 pictures I have, I'm not kidding, 3,000 pictures, and the academic knowledge that I learned firsthand are timeless. And I got shivers because as an adult, I realized that Carly, at the age of 13, realized the value of an experience. And I thought, gosh, if I would have figured that out at a young age, how might my life have been different? What we're going to learn about today is your experience next summer, and the experience that begins right here today. It's not just about getting on that plane in JFK and flying to Vancouver. It's about the relationships you're going to make with other kids. It's about the orientation meetings you're going to attend with teachers. And it's about you starting to step a little bit out of your comfort zone and represent yourself and your family while you travel abroad. So 10 years ago, there was no Facebook. There weren't even smartphones. A hashtag was simply a number sign. Selfies, that was not a word in the dictionary, let alone an image. All those things right now allow us to feel connected, right? You follow people on Instagram, do you post pictures, you've got so many friends on Facebook. All of us are unbelievably connected. But those things have limitations. Dwight D. Eisenhower served as Supreme Allied Commander in World War II. And when he became President of the United States, he took his experience in World War II and the horrific things that he witnessed, and he said, you know what? It's not up to nations, and it's not up to government to bring us together. It's our responsibility as citizens. From this notion, the idea of people to people was created. So if you would please join me in this short video to look at where we've been and where we are going.
Ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of this meeting is the most worthwhile purpose there is in the world today: to help build the road to peace.
It all started with a president. Dwight D. Eisenhower was chosen as Supreme Allied Commander during World War II and served as President of the United States during the Cold War. The vision of a more peaceful world became the defining theme of his presidency.
But I am talking about the exchange of professors and students and executives, the providing of technical assistance and the ordinary traveler abroad. In this way, I believe, is the truest path to peace.
Eisenhower believed that people-to-people interactions were the solution to world peace and the success of all world citizens. The people-to-people movement was born out of this great vision and lives on today through people-to-people ambassador programs. Since the 1960s, more than 500,000 ambassadors have traveled on the educational adventure of a lifetime.
Students have to step outside their comfort zone. The team building activities they do, it equips the students with personal empowerment that they will take with them in whatever situation, work situation, school situation. It makes them in control of their life.
They're unique individuals who share a passion for getting out into the world and making it a better place. As an ambassador, you'll experience the world with eyes wide open, going to places the average student trip can't. You'll experience iconic destinations, explore new cultures and local customs, and gain an academic edge, all while having the time of your life.
Welcome people to Bristol, England.
We'd like to welcome our American friends here.
People to people, welcome to Greece.
Welcome to Paris. Hope you'll enjoy your stay.
Welcome to Japan, people to people.
Ambassadors have endless opportunities to see the world. Students gain confidence and maturity through months of pre-travel preparation and by taking part in unique activities on the program, like rappelling down a castle wall in Wales, living like a member of another culture in Fiji, and taking part in a robotics challenge at a top American university. You are heading into a world where your friends and coworkers will be from all around the globe. Building an awareness of the world is essential for success in our fast-moving global society.
So you have an obligation to be good citizens, an obligation to learn all you can, an obligation to get ready for the world that we're going to bequeath to you in the not-too-distant future.
I salute you as well for exercising your convictions not just at the keyboard, but in programs like People to People.
Today, success in getting into college and advancing in your chosen career requires new 21st century skills and the ability to think beyond our borders.
We're always looking for students who have pursued academic enrichment programs, programs that take them outside of the classroom, outside of their community, and really introduce them to other academic outings.
Ambassador programs are designed to give you an academic edge. They're even led by educational professionals who make the most of each learning opportunity. These teacher leaders are also an important part of our industry-leading approach to safety. With GPS tracking, extensive training for leaders and students, and dedicated staff on call 24/7, we set a high standard for travel safety.
We are very, very serious about the safety of our children. It's the number one foremost thing.
Rest assured you're in good hands with People to People. They've been traveling students for over 50 years. They know what they're doing.
Every continent, country, and city brings new adventures, friendships, and experiences that you'll take with you for the rest of your life.
To the young people who are here tonight, I ask you to go forward and always remember that we're citizens in the truest sense of the word, not just of this country, but of this precious planet.
Your people-to-people experience will not only make a difference in your life, but can actually change the world. Learn what it means to be a global citizen through unique and rewarding service projects. In 2014, ambassadors earned more than 120,000 service learning hours. Join students just like you and make an impact around the world.
We are at the east coast of Japan where the tsunami hit last year.
Seeing everyone work together, digging in the sand and get out debris or like logs, and knowing that like you touch these people's lives just as much as they touched yours. It's just an amazing feeling of accomplishment.
Over the next several months, you will see and learn more about the world than most people will in a lifetime. Each day of your ambassador experience will bring new adventures as you explore places you've only dreamed of.
We are at the top of Machu Picchu. This is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I still can't believe that I'm here.
The time is now, the choice is yours. As a people-to-people ambassador, your world will change forever. So the only question left is, are you ready?
There is no more important work than that which we are asking you to participate. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. So as you can see, the history at People to People drives our future. And this is about you, boys and girls, sitting in this room and saying you are ready to change your future and the world that you live in. As I opened up today, I forgot to acknowledge a couple other special people that are joining us, and that's the people at home for our live streaming video. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please go ahead and use your live chat button in the bottom right-hand corner. And those of you in the room, if you have questions that I don't answer, I will be available as long as you need me after the meeting. So, before we talk about whale watching or the ropes course that you'll participate in, I promised your parents that I would help put their hearts at ease about traveling you on our 12-day program next summer. So, over the past 50 years, we have had a very successful past, traveling 500,000 students to all 7 continents safely. Our safety protocol is built on 3 pillars. The first one being preparation, the second being supervision, and the third being support. So, first of all, preparation. I'm not talking about when you take your child to JFK and drop them off at the airport to send them to Canada. I'm talking about the preparation that begins right here today, being at this meeting. This program, over the next 8 months, will provide your child an opportunity to meet with his or her delegation, which are the students that they'll be traveling with, and the leaders. They will have orientation meetings, where they'll begin to go over all sorts of travel preparation and travel readiness, as well as academic content, so they are fully aware of things that they are going to be learning about while they're on program. In addition to the orientation meetings, at People to People, we partner with the State Department and the World Health Organization. Additionally, all of our partners worldwide, we contact and communicate with leading up to and all during travel to ensure that every country, everywhere we are, is ready for us. The second pillar is supervision. At People to People, we travel with a ratio nationally of 10 students to 1 teacher. And in a bit, you're going to have an opportunity to meet those teacher leaders that will be traveling. In addition to the teacher leaders, you will also have a delegation manager. And his or her job is actually to handle all of the logistics of your trip. So before you make it to lunch, if you have a dietary concern or a dietary allergy or issue, that delegation manager is going to call ahead to ensure that they have a meal prepared especially for you. In addition, they will alert all of the activities, so they are expecting us as soon as we arrive so we don't lose a minute of time. Besides the teacher leaders, as well as the delegation manager, one of the most important people on this trip is your motor coach driver. And you might think, really? That person? Let me tell you why. Usually, this person ends up being a rock star on the trip. First of all, they drive a rock star motor coach, big, lush, awesome bus that has air conditioning, seats that recline. You get a little bit spoiled while you're there. And that bus is always air conditioned and it is always waiting for you. So the supervision on the program is constant. The final pillar after preparation and supervision is support. We have what we call on-call, 24 hours, 7 days a week, while all of our students are traveling. That means when you are sitting here in New York and you wake up and you check Facebook and you can't find a picture of your son or daughter, you can call up our office and you can say, they haven't called, they were supposed to call, can you please check in with them? What will happen is our office will reach out to the teacher leaders on the GPS smartphone that we have provided for them that works internationally wherever they are and say, hey, could you please have this student reach out to their mom or dad? In addition, all of our teacher leaders are supplied with international credit cards should they ever be in a situation that requires financial support. Finally, every student on our program travels with medical insurance, so regardless of where they are in the world, in the unfortunate event that they would need medical attention, they are covered. Lastly, Facebook. You might think, really? Facebook falls under safety? Let me tell you why. All of our teacher leaders and the kids have so much fun during the day. And in the age of technology, guess what they do? They whip out those phones, they whip out their cameras, they take videos, they take pictures, all sorts of things. As soon as they get back to their accommodations, they upload all those pictures, all those videos, all those stories. And that's where you as parents get to live vicariously through them. And if you're anything like me, the mother of 2 boys, you'll actually be able to see if your son changes his clothes, because mine do not when they leave me. So, while Facebook is something we often think of in the social media realm, it actually falls under safety because there's nothing better as a parent than seeing your son or daughter smiling or laughing or making goofy faces, and instantly you feel just a little bit better. It's the combination of preparation, supervision, and support that make us the industry leader in safety. Safety actually begins with our leaders. So I'm going to take this opportunity to call them up here. Tim, come on up. You're going the wrong way. I think some of them are still out there checking in people. So we'll go ahead and get started with these two gentlemen. And as they're making their way up here, what I'd like to tell you about our leaders is they are state certified educators. They have all gone through extensive background checks. They are CPR and first aid certified. And they're really fun, as said by these alumni students down here. Are they fun? Mm-hmm. All right.
Hello, everyone. My name's Glenn Spiegelman. I teach in South Orangetown Middle School in Rockland County, and I teach 6th grade, and I've traveled with 5th and 6th graders. And it's a remarkable age to see the world. They could take it all in. I teach social studies in the classroom. It's seeing it on paper is one thing, but experiencing the world and traveling and learning by education is the way to do it. Hands-on experience, can't get a better experience.
Just a minute, Glenn. And I'd just like to tell you, I met this man last summer on Daydream Island on a boat on our way to the Great Barrier Reef. Literally. So imagine my surprise when I walked into this high school today and here he was. That just goes to show how small the world is becoming. Truly. Thank you.
Hello. Hola a todos. Wow, how you doing? My name's Tim Montalvo. I teach Spanish K-8 at Iona Prep, the lower school. También for those of us who que están en el internet, pueden, cuando están chateando, pueden chatear en español y alguien te vas a responder. And gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, señoras y señores, si hay algunas preguntas me pueden preguntar también si no entienden la información que te están presentando. Overall, so I teach Spanish K-8, but this summer I'm going to be the leader for 5th and 6th grade, the primary delegation leader.
Wow.
So our group is going to be 60 people, right? Not for. I want all of you there. Okay. So I very look forward to working with all of you. Did I miss anything? No,
you were.
Oh, yes. I was a student ambassador myself, so I've been through this process. I went my sophomore year in high school, and I definitely wish that I would have started earlier, just like you guys are doing. So it's definitely an invaluable experience. And for those parents out there, these are lifelong friends that they're going to meet. And I'm not just saying that. I'm telling you because 2 weeks ago, me and my group who went on the trip 8 to 10 years ago, we're hanging out a couple Saturday nights ago. So we still keep in touch. It's definitely a once in a lifetime. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you all there.
And one thing I'd like to say about Tim, you will, when we get to the application process, you will note that there's a portion of the interview. This is the gentleman you will be interviewing with, boys and girls. See, he's not scary. Okay? So we'll get to that in just a little bit.
You haven't seen me in the classroom.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. And I'd like to personally introduce Miss Tammy Tavarone. She's our area director here, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about her responsibility in ensuring that we have the best leaders available to travel with your students.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. So I'm Tammy Tavarone. I'm the area director for Long Island, Westchester, and Rockland. So basically that means that I have about 50 teachers in my area that I train twice a year. We do once in the fall, once in the spring. And when I train my leaders, we follow our program guidelines, but also I try to give them what I do on program. So really quick, about myself, this is my 3rd year of People to People. I traveled my first year, 5th and 6th grade. Just like you guys sitting here, but we did England and France, so we went to Europe. And some of my alumni are actually sitting over there. They've traveled with me. Woohoo! They've traveled with me for 2 years in a row, and some are going with me for 3 years next year. So this summer I did Australia with the middle school group, which was 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And then next summer is South Africa, and that's going to be grades 8 through 12 for that delegation. But love the program. When I started, this was like a dream for me, actually. I'm a teacher out in Long Island, and I said, what can I do to expand my teaching? And then People to People, came into my life, and it's just been life-changing for me. I've made great friendships with my leaders, with my families, my parents, my students. This is an opportunity you do not want to miss out on. Okay?
Hi, my name is Rhonda Brooks. I am a retired school social worker. I've been with People to People for 6 years. About 12 years ago, a friend of mine told me she was sending her 5th grade daughter to a trip to Australia with a group called People to People. And I said, are you kidding me? You're sending your 5th grader all the way to Australia? You don't know these people? I went on and on. Anyway, she sent her daughter. She had a fantastic trip. And now I investigated the program. And now I've taken 5th and 6th graders to England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. I've taken high school kids to China and Australia and all over the world. And it is an amazing, safe, fantastic program, and you would really do your kids a favor by sending them on this trip, because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, or three-time-in-a-lifetime opportunity for some of them, but it's a great program, so we hope that you all join up.
Hi, my name is Roberta Strenka. I'm actually from the Albany area, but I'm down here supporting my friends and seeing the fabulous students that we just traveled to Australia with. I teach in the Coxsackie-Athens district. That's between Kingston and Albany. This is my 18th year with the program. It has certainly changed my life. I always say I have the best summer job in the world. I get to travel with fabulous students, fabulous leaders, and do a fabulous program. And one of the things I wanted to say was that one of my students one year was looking at something. He goes, Roberta, I've been here before in a book. And I loved when he said that, because that's really what it is. You see these things that you've seen in books. It's your history books come alive. But it's also seeing experiences that you never knew you would do. Even after all these years, this past summer, I did surfing in Bondi. I'd never done that before. So that was just fabulous. So there's always so many amazing things to do. And when she was talking about the Facebook pictures, I just checked our Facebook page, and we had posted 3,662 photos this summer. Okay? So you know what you're up against now, okay? And we also had Wi-Fi on the bus. So yeah, we loved our Wi-Fi. So we didn't even have to wait till we got back to the hotel. I can't promise that. That was unique. That's the only time that, yeah. The other leaders were really jealous. They were holding their phones up to our bus to try to catch our Wi-Fi. So the point is that we keep you, I say my job is to keep you safe, healthy, and happy. And I think in that order. And I think we do a really good job of doing that. It's a fabulous program. I sent both of my daughters. If you can do it, it's a fabulous program. You won't regret it. I've never had anybody in all these 18 years come back and say, you know, I shouldn't have done it. All right? Never. So it's a wonderful program, and I hope you can do this for your child.
Thank you, Roberta. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. Now, next up, we always look forward to inviting our alumni up, because they were sitting in the exact same place that you boys and girls are sitting a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. So we're going to go real quick. Come on up, guys. Don't be shy. Thank you very much. Okay, if you would, I'm going to have you come right up to here. See, it's like hurting middle school students. It's like hurting middle school students. They're busy talking, fixing their hair, checking their outfits. I'm going to have them talk real quick, and then I'm going to have you sneak behind the screen and head back off the stage that way, okay? Parents, get ready, because you're up next. Name, grade, and one reason why they should travel on People to People. Name, grade, one reason why they should travel on People to People. Okay? Here we go.
I'm Eric Hammond, and I am in 8th grade, and one reason is it's a life-changing experience to meet new people.
Thank you. Behind the curtain? They're nice.
I'm Kayla Benavides. I am in 9th grade, and one reason you should travel with People to People is because the connections and the stuff you get to do on this trip is something you'll never get to experience with your family.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Xander Shirley. I'm in 8th grade, and the reason you should travel with People to People is you'll see sites that you'll never seen before, only in like movies and books, like the sunset. You'll see the wildlife in Australia. That was cool in the forest. So yeah, it was a pretty good life experience.
Thank you, Xander. In the green shirts, these students wearing the green shirts traveled to Australia last summer. Thank you. Come on over this way.
My name is Bianca Byrne. I am in 9th grade, but I traveled last year when I was in 8th grade. But the reason you should travel with People to People is because it's absolutely one of the most amazing experiences you will ever have in your entire lifetime. And it's just the connections you get with people and the things that you do, you'll never be able to do them outside. So,
thank you.
Hi, I'm Victoria Alcure. I'm in 7th grade, and the reason you should travel with people to people is because there's places that you can't go with on an ordinary family trip. Like in Australia, it's really expensive to go on with a family trip. But when you do with people to people, you can see other things that it would cost you a lot of money to just do as a family. And you can see things that other people don't see on an ordinary day and basis. So
Thank you very much. As you can see, doing things and seeing things tends to be a popular theme, so I'm changing the question. Ready? What's the coolest thing you did or saw while you were on your program? Okay. And your name and your grade.
Okay. Hi, I'm Cassandra Schmoger. I'm in 8th grade now, and the coolest thing that I saw was when we were in Tangalooma, and then the sun sets almost every night. Each night it was like different. One night it was the color of the rainbows, and then you just saw like the waves crashing over it and like all the cool trees. It was so much fun. It was like the best thing of my life.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Leanna. I'm in 9th grade now, and I'd have to say that the best thing about going to Australia was seeing all like the kangaroos and holding like the koala bear. And like after everything, like we got to like hang out and do pranks on each other and stuff.
Back to the pranks. Thank you. Second meeting today. The pranks have come up.
Hi, my name is Ryan Hickson, and I'm in 9th grade. And my best part of the Australian adventure was probably feeding the wild dolphins at Tangalooma.
Did you hear those ooh, wow, ahs? That was a good one. Nice.
Hi, I'm Benny Benavides. I'm in 8th grade, and my favorite part of the trip is got to be going with my host family to see a bunch of wild kangaroos.
Outstanding. And you traveled with?
People to people.
And your sister?
Oh, and my sister.
Yes. They forget that every time they come up here. I don't know why. Wait, stop. Other way, behind the screen. Okay, that works too. Look for him on that end.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Isabel Felizardo. I'm in 7th grade, and the coolest thing was the full-on program where we rappelled down a 100-foot cliff and we broke a board.
Outstanding. Thank you very much. Come on over.
Hi, my name's Alexios. I'm in 8th grade, and my favorite part was probably when we were at Tangalooma and we got to feed the dolphins because everything there was just amazing.
Thank you.
Can I do one reason?
Okay, you can.
I'm Amanda Holzman. I'm in 7th grade. Last year, I went to Australia, and one reason you should travel with people to people is because you get to see a lot of great things and do a lot of great things, and you make really great friendships, and you have great memories.
So I have a question for you because you said you get to do a lot of great things. So do you like sleep in till 10 o'clock in the morning and just kind of hang out?
Well, you could hang out after the activities, but usually we're doing a lot of things during the day. So, and then we usually get up at like 5 in the morning to do more activities. I mean, it's not just like laid back and
if you went back to Australia, would you want to sleep in or would you want to get up and do a whole bunch?
Oh no, I'd like to get up really early and do that stuff again. I mean, that was so great. I loved it.
Good. Well, your parents just heard you say you want to wake up really early to get a lot of stuff in.
Hi, my name's Emily Jansen, and I'm in 8th grade. And what I really like about people to people in general is how all the leaders are so like trusting, and you can pretty much trust them with everything, and they're really helpful and they're understanding, and they take really good care of you.
So besides taking good care and being understanding, are they crazy fun?
Yeah, sometimes they're pretty unexpected. Like, you'll think they'll be really serious in the beginning of the trip, like if it's your first time traveling, and then after that, they'll just start like cracking jokes, and they're really fun.
Teachers can be fun. They can. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jesse Dugan. I'm in 9th grade, and I traveled to Australia with Tammy, and my favorite part was staying on the farm for 2 nights. And we all the guys and all the girls, we had our own room, so we were all together, so we really got to know each other really well during those 2 nights.
Thank you, Jesse.
Hi, my name is Phoebe Tate. I'm in 9th grade, and I traveled to Australia with Tammy last year.
I think my favorite part would have to be getting a backstage tour of the Sydney Opera House, which is definitely something that if you went as a family vacation, you'd probably never get to do, and it was really cool.
Thank you.
I'm Cody Sutton, and I'm in 9th grade right now, and last year I went to Australia, and I think a lot of people are going to say like their favorite thing was seeing everything, and don't get me wrong, I really love that, but like when you go with all those people, you make like a second family, and then you have so many people to like trust, and it's very special because you don't get those relationships at home.
Thank you. Well said. You ready?
Hi, my name is Sydney Rose. I'm in 7th grade, and I traveled with Tammy twice. Last year I went to Australia, and then the year before I went to England and France.
And why do you think people should travel with people to people?
Well, it's because it's really organized and precise, and you know, Tammy was always right on time with everything. She just made sure you were always on time, and if you weren't, she'd just go and get you.
Did she have to come get you, Sydney? No. Okay, good. Thank you. Last two.
All right, my name is Pierce Hurd, and I traveled with Tammy as well last year, and I went to Australia. And one of my favorite parts probably about the trip and why people should travel with people to people is probably because of the friendships, because I know I never personally would have made as good of friends outside of people to people as I did when I was traveling.
Thank you, Pierce. And before you leave, I have to highlight again your lanyard. So, parents, I wanted to tell you this is one of our safety protocols, and it has their name, where they're from, and has an emergency contact information on the back. Our students wear this the entire time they're on program. Our shirts are part of the people-to-people travel gear that are issued for safety and when they're traveling in a group. But as you can see, every kid puts their own spin on their lanyards. So Pierce here has a whole bunch of pins from all the places he's traveled on program. And when the students come up here as an alumni and share about their experience, they also earn a people-to-people alumni pin. Thank you, Pierce. You can give me some of those pins if you want to, because you have way more than me. Last but not least.
My name is Paige. I'm in the 6th grade, and I traveled with Glenn to Australia. My favorite part was probably the, I forgot what it was called.
Give me a hint, I can help you. I thought for a minute you were going to say the pancake machine at the hotel. She's laughing because that was seriously a crowd pleaser. It was this machine, they put the batter in and it spit up.
It spits it out after 2 minutes or something. It was the rocks in the cave, the Capricorn Caves, and I did the whale's belly, and you go through this hole, and it's so cool, and then you go through all these caves, and you have to swiggle through to the top. And when you get to the top, there's a bunch of trees and stuff, and it was really pretty.
Thank you very much, and you don't have to go behind the screen. You can go this way. Would you join me in giving these wonderful alum a round of applause? And parents, if you would kindly, please, you're up. Real quick, I'd love to hear from the parents in the audience that's out here, and well, the moms and dads. A couple of them are making their way up and have some things to share with us. If you are a parent of someone who's traveled on our program, please come up. We're going to just go real quick and hear from these 6 or 7 parents here about what it was like for them to be sitting in your exact same position.
Well, it was very interesting initially because we got to go to the pre-meetings and got to learn how to roll our laundry to get it to fit in the bags and everything. It was very, very educational. And obviously the pre-meetings, they learn about the areas that they're going to be going to. My son Eric, on his first trip, went to the beaches at Normandy, and he was answering questions that just made me proud that he knew about the area and what happened at that fateful day.
Thank you very much. You can sneak behind the screen now, too.
I'm Stacy Jansen, Emily Jansen's mom. She went to England and France last year. This past summer, she went to Australia with Tammy and Roberta. I think everybody always hears this. We were in your same shoes, sitting where you're sitting. And the anxiety, the worry, am I nuts for sending my kid clear across the world? Very anxious. It took a very short period of time for them to ease those anxieties. Our children were very safe and well taken care of. And the thing is, they come back with this maturity level and independence that, honestly, I don't know if they could ever get that being here, sheltered in just a small little area and never expanding their horizons. And the stories that they'll share with you is just amazing.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name's Marcy. My son Jesse has traveled twice with People to People. I used to work for the airlines, and I'm a huge advocate for travel. It's the only way to really, really experience the world, and it's changed his life. It is definitely a life-changing experience. This program is amazing.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name's Jessica. I'm Xander's mom. This was his first time traveling with People to People this past summer. I was sitting where you are now, scared, not knowing about sending my son all the way across the world. It is very safe. We were in contact all the time. We had their full itinerary. We were worried about the cost, but the cost was everything was included, and we did so much fundraising. It was amazing to see how hard he wanted it, how much he wanted it, because he was out there every weekend. He raised about 80% of what he needed for his trip, and they give you so much help, People to People, on fundraising ideas, and they have different tuitions that you can win also, so it was amazing.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Linda Rose. My daughter's Sydney Rose. If you can give your kid this gift, life is about moments and memories, and the memories they'll have is for a lifetime. And what it does is it helps them within. Their confidence grows and soars beyond what you can even imagine. I'm going to give you one thing that my daughter learned there, and it will be for the rest of her life. When she was in London, we gave her an American Express with her name on it. Well, guess what? It didn't work. She also had some pounds to use. She went in a store and she went to buy something for her brother. And she looked at the price and she said, wow, $9. That's too much. I only have a certain amount of money because my American Express doesn't work. And she was very frugal with her money. She learned a lesson. That's a lifetime lesson. If it was my money and I was with her, guess what? She'd be spending it. So People to People really hits home. So I hope you all enjoy it with your families as my family has.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Christina. My daughter Victoria is a 3-year alumni. Next summer she'll be going to South Africa with Tammy. She also traveled to Australia and England and France. My daughter loves social studies, and she's able to correlate social studies with all of her travel. But last week, her science teacher asked her to write an essay on how is science part of your summer, and she detailed her entire Australian trip. And it's amazing what they're able to do on these trips, and just including it with school and everyday work and essays. It's really amazing. It's a great trip.
Hi, my name is Tina. My daughter Bianca Byrne traveled to Australia this past summer, and she really loved the trip. The one thing I can say is, although the children have access to contacting their parents, they don't always do that. But on the flip side of that, the bond that's formed between the parents and the families of children that are on this trip are very, very supportive. I know through those contacts and also through Facebook, because our teachers were absolutely awesome with posting pictures and where the kids were, that Bianca had been told several times to call home. But her answer was that if she called home and spoke to us about her experience, she'd have nothing to tell us when she got home. So we had gotten 2 texts over a 3-week period, and my last was, you had better let me hear your voice before you get on that plane, or else you're dead. So we did. 5 minutes before she got on the plane, she let us know. I guess what I'm trying to say is the leaders were absolutely awesome in being on top of her and letting her know that we were thinking about her, and the other students that were traveling with her were communicating with their parents, who were then communicating with us to let us know that Bianca had gotten those messages. So it was sort of a joke by the end, but we're grateful that we had those contacts, even though we couldn't speak to her directly. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have mom and dad here who sent 2 of their kids last year. Are you talking this time?
Sure.
Okay.
We were fortunate enough to send both of our kids. We were able to use the pay-to-pay program that they offered, and that helped us tremendously. Both kids had very independent experiences, though. It was amazing to watch both kids come home. My daughter on the phone every day was giving me a play-by-play of what happened, where my son didn't tell me anything about anything, and then he was like, hey, what's up? I was like, well, what happened? He's like, stuff. But when he came home, that's where I saw it with him. It was everything on TV. He's like, oh, I got to see that, or he's like, yeah, I played with a kangaroo and I held a koala bear. So it was really enlightening to see him open up at home where she did it every day to us on the phone.
The leaders were great by posting tremendous amount of pictures. So we felt like we were there and being part of the kids' trip.
Wonderful, thank you. And last but not least.
Hi, my name is Jennifer. My son Pierce traveled to Australia this summer. I just want to reiterate what a couple of parents before me said. It's extremely hard in your position being at home and them on the other side of the world, but the leaders and the Facebook trip or the Facebook page is beyond words. I mean, the support not only from the leaders but the parents to parents. There was one time when it was 7 days and I'd heard nothing personally from him, seen tons of pictures, knew from the looks on his face he was fine, but I just wanted to hear his voice. And it was one of the other parents that reached out to me when I posted on Facebook and let me call him on their phone. So the support is all the way around. It's going to be there for the parents.
Thank you very much. So it's always nice to hear from people that have sat in the same place you are. And we've had a chance to hear from some outstanding alumni. At People to People, we ask the kids from the moment they apply for our program to step up. And we ask the parents, in order to help them step up, to let go. So please join me in giving the parents and the students a round of applause for letting go and stepping up. We have one other special guest that I'd like you all to have a chance to hear from, and it's actually a brother and a sister from Florida that traveled on the Wonders of the Canadian West program. And in their own words, they're going to go ahead and they're going to tell you day by day what this trip is going to be about next summer. Now, boys and girls, you heard from a lot of students that have traveled on different programs, and we're going to talk about all the programs we have to offer, but this particular trip is designed for you all at the 5th and 6th grade level to work with experts and experience things that will shape your future in middle school and in high school.
Hi, I'm Shamarda. And I'm her brother Barrington, and we're both Student Ambassador alumni from Florida. We're here to tell you about an amazing 2-week adventure that could change your life.
We know this for a fact because we went on this program together.
Welcome to your Wonders of the Canadian West program. Your exploration of the Canadian West starts in, of course, its westernmost province, British Columbia. In Vancouver, BC, you'll explore one of the biggest parks in the world. Stanley Park is actually 10% bigger than Central Park in New York City, and filled with talented artists, colorful gardens, and cool sculptures.
You'll walk along the waterfront, see the Lions Gate Bridge from Prospect Point, and learn about the totem poles beautifully carved by the coastal First Nations tribes. It's called a park, but it is also a rainforest because, let me tell you, it rains a lot here.
Head from scenic Vancouver to beautiful Victoria, which is just a ferry ride away on Vancouver Island. This city was named after Queen Victoria of Great Britain, and it still reflects Canada's history as a colony. One of Victoria's classic buildings holds its parliament. In the US, we call it Congress. You'll not only get to walk through the building and learn how Canada's government and our own are similar, but you will also have a chance to meet with a former member of the Canadian Parliament.
After a crash course in Canadian politics, you'll go back to Canada's British roots and take a spot of tea at the Empress Hotel. You're going to have to spruce up a bit to get ready for your traditional Elizabethan tea, held in a beautiful private room. Student ambassadors will choose from a unique menu and discover a ton of history behind this famous tea service. Next on your list of Canadian wonders, killer whales. You'll join an experienced whale watching team and sail the Straits of Georgia to search for pods or family groups of orcas. While you're on the boat, you'll learn about the habitat and behavior of these enormous mammals while watching them in their natural environment. Next, marine biologist in Sydney will explain to you about the dynamic ecosystem of the Salish Sea, from seafloor to seashore. Try saying that 5 times fast. Anyway, this is a really cool education center that has thousands of different species sea life in 17 giant aquariums.
You'll leave Victoria for the seaside town of Nanaimo, where a challenge awaits you at Wild Play. It definitely lives up to its name. It's a climbing course way up high in a dense Douglas fir forest.
You'll test your coordination and balance as you cross suspended bridges, scramble nets, and swinging logs. My fellow ambassadors and I, even my brother, were like a team, cheering each other on. I think that's what gave us all the courage to try something new and exciting.
Wake up early and take the ferry back to the mainland.
Today will be your first day at Camp Ascula. This was another memorable moment for me because we got to camp in real-life teepees and learn how to put them up ourselves. Being invited to sleep in penthouses and teepees is actually a great honor. Not many people who aren't student ambassadors get to do this.
While here, you'll also be introduced to the Earth Steward Project and become an environmental ambassador. With some hands-on experiences, you'll learn about simple ways you can reduce your carbon footprint.
The Earth Steward Project was designed just for student ambassadors and shows how you can help to preserve the environment and be a responsible traveler abroad and at home. We had a campfire one night and got to hear stories about the Similkameen culture. Then we got a chance to meet people from the Similkameen tribe. They shared with us their customs and traditional beliefs. Their ancestors made Canada their home about 30,000 years ago.
Following that, you'll visit the Inkamit Desert Cultural Center in Osoyoos to learn about the history of the Okanagan people who have lived here for hundreds of years, fishing, foraging local plants, and trading with other tribes for delicious and healthy buffalo meat. After breakfast, bid your new friends goodbye at the camp and head towards the lakeside town of Kelowna. Along the way, you will stop for some beach time and a swim at Okanagan Lake.
If you've ever dreamed of uncovering ancient treasures,
like Indiana Jones,
yeah, sort of like that. In Kelowna, you'll get to meet with a renowned archaeologist. You'll visit the University of British Columbia at Okanagan for an archaeology talk and the chance to see and handle ancient stone tools, some that have been around for up to 600,000 years.
Meeting an archaeologist isn't something you could do on just any Canadian vacation. You'll also get a chance to make your own obsidian arrowhead that you can take home. Just be glad you won't have to take down a buffalo with it. My arrowhead felt sharp, but not that sharp. You'll also howl with the gray wolves at the Northern Lights Wildlife Center in Golden. Learn about their habitat in this unique region. And then, your next stop, beautiful Banff. Once you arrive in Banff, take the gondola to the top of Sulphur Mountain. If the views on the way up aren't enough, I'm pretty sure the landscape you see from the top will make your jaw drop. Enjoy dinner tonight at the Summit Restaurant in the company of your friends, leaders, and the Rocky Mountains. Then at the Columbia Icefields, you'll pile into a specialized vehicle for a ride across the Athabasca Glacier.
But here's the best part. About halfway up the glacier, you can get out and slip and slide around on the snow and ice. Make sure to bring an empty water bottle so you can taste some of the purest water on the planet.
You'll head back to Banff to meet a Mountie and discover the history and the culture of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. The Mounties are legendary for being a police force long before there were even roads and bridges across the Canadian West.
Today, Canadian Mounties are the country's national police. Sometimes they even serve in other countries as peacekeepers. Wrap up this exciting day in a hot spring at the base of Sulphur Mountain while you swim and soak in the pool. If you've never been to a hot spring, it's cool. Well, not cool. It's like nature's hot tub, with water that's heated by the Earth's crust.
Next, your delegation will head east, following the towering shadow of the Rocky Mountains. Check into your miner's cabin at the Pope Lease Pines. These cozy dwellings are actually the original, refurbished homes of the coal miners who worked here in the 1920s coal boom.
Now get ready to step back millions of years and explore Canada's version of Jurassic Park. The Royal Tyrrell Museum of Paleontology is a huge building made just to study dinosaurs. It's the largest dinosaur museum in the world. Not only will you be amazed at these life-size displays, you'll also get to watch the other student ambassadors give their best T-Rex impression. Then it's off to Calgary, home of Canada's Olympic Park. Through their awesome games and activities, you will learn what it takes to be a true Olympic champion. Head to the top of the Calgary Tower, the second tallest building in all of Canada, stretching 626 feet. What most impressed me was how fast the elevator got us to the top of the tower. I felt like my feet were pressed to the floor as we shot up. By then, our time in Calgary was done. I could hardly believe the journey had gone so fast. The wonders of the Canadian West left us both with a ton of memories. I can close my eyes and still smell the water as I stood on the deck of the ship looking out for whales, hear the drumming of the First Nations people, and taste the flavor of that buffalo. What's even better, I can relive those memories with other ambassadors because I came home with a great new group of friends. My sister and I actually have new perspectives now, of the world, of other people, even of each other because of this program. We've been inside other cultures, we've learned that we were more capable than we believed, and we have new friends thousands of miles away. Trust us, you will think about your student ambassador journey and everything you experienced in Western Canada for years to come. So get ready for the world.
Thank you. Perfect with the lights. As you can see, it's an action-packed experience in Canada. There's not a lot of downtime, but there's a lot of exploration and a lot of hands-on learning and a lot of experiences that are going to come alive from your textbooks. Also, while you're on this particular program, boys and girls, you'll be given a Wonders of the Canadian West guide that you'll be completing every day with your travel group and your teachers. Finally, how can you find yourself on a plane headed from here to Vancouver? This is your boarding pass. If you would please, take out your application guide. If you open it up to the first 2 pages, you'll see 3 simple steps. Well, you've been invited here to learn about this program. You have not yet been selected to travel. So what I'd like to do is go through this with you and tell you a little bit about next steps. If you need a pen, one of our outstanding teacher leaders is making her way down because you're going to need a pen in just a moment. And those of you at home, your application guide is found on the right-hand corner of your screen. You can flip through it with us. Step 1, you need to complete an application to say, yes, I want to become a student ambassador. You may complete that application online by calling the 800 number where our national office is standing by to answer questions and process your application over the phone, or you can complete the paper application found in this guide and hand it to myself or one of the other teacher leaders before you leave here today. Second step. This is for you boys and girls, so listen closely. You need to go to 2 of your teachers, 2 of them. They can be your current teachers or they can be teachers from your previous years. I suggest that you did your homework for them and that they like you. You are going to have them complete a recommendation form on your behalf. The third letter of recommendation can be from a rabbi, a youth pastor, a coach, somebody that you have done some work with, babysitting or dog walking, or a neighbor, another adult that can vouch for your character. You are going to collect these 3 letters of recommendation, not your mom or not your dad, but you, as a student ambassador, are going to collect these 3 letters of recommendation, and you are going to bring them with you to your interview. The final step is your interview. And you're going to interview with Tim, who is standing up on stage here. And you'll have an opportunity to interview with a couple other delegates or students that will also be traveling on your date. And within 72 hours after your interview, you will be aware of your acceptance into our program. If for some reason you are not selected to travel next summer, your $399 deposit that accompanies your application will be fully refunded. So first you need to apply, then you need to collect your letters of recommendation, and then you go to your interview. Now, as a courtesy here today, Tim has put up a poster as you walked in the auditorium today, and that has the interview dates and times on it. You can select your interview date and time and go ahead and submit that, in which you'll get an email, and then you can complete the application prior to your interview. If you would please turn to page 6. We're going to start with your pen in the bottom left-hand corner. It says Departure Airport. If you would please write in there JFK. You will be flying round trip out of JFK. Next to that, it says International Airline Surcharge. If you would please, put a 0 there. There is not a surcharge for flying to Canada. Then, if you look above that, you are going to see all of our trips offered in 2015. As you can see, we travel to all 7 continents. While we're here discussing the Wonders of the Canadian West program, if there is another program that you would like to travel on, please come see me or one of the teachers after the meeting. We have multiple programs available, especially in this area. However, we always travel students with their age group. So, we always travel middle school students with middle school and high school students with high school. If you would, under North America, star the 3rd program down, Wonders of the Canadian West. And if you look across that line, you will see the cities that you're traveling to, Vancouver Island, the Canadian Rockies, and Calgary. You'll see the duration of the program is 12 days, and you'll see a G next to it. This is a program uniquely offered to grade school students only. So that's 5th and 6th graders. Current 5th, current 6th grade. Next to it, you will see the tuition listed at $44.99. That is essentially an all-inclusive pricing. If you would turn your book over, we're going to go over exactly what that covers. On the flip page, you see what's included. Your orientation meetings and your online learning, your workbook while you're on program and the academic materials, your travel gear issued by People to People, your round-trip airfare, your transportation, planes, trains, automobiles while you are on program, your accommodations, in which case at every one of your stays while in Canada, you will have your own bed. You are going to be very busy. We are going to have you involved in things from sunup to sundown. What we really need you to do is get a good night's sleep, so you will always have your own bed. You will have a roommate, but you'll always have your own bed. All of your meals, 3 meals a day, done in conjunction with a pediatric dietitian to ensure that we have food that you'll like, but also that will give you enough energy to sustain our schedule. All of your activities, fees, tips, taxes, gratuities, and your service learning credit. While you are on your program, you will be participating in an international service project. You will receive a certificate of completion upon returning home. Then if you would, you can flip to page 8. And see the other inclusions on your program. If you follow along to page 9, you are going to see different payment options that are available. And then looking ahead to page 11, 13, and 15, or excuse me, first on page 13, 15, and 17, you will see those 3 recommendation forms 2 to teachers, 1 to another adult. And then finally, on page 11 of your application guide is your paper application for the program. And lastly, you have an interview questionnaire that is going to give you an opportunity to see some of those things that will be available and discussed at your interview with other delegates and your teacher. This application guide, I strongly suggest you read cover to cover because it's got a lot of information in there. Additionally, it's got some information about an optional insurance that we didn't touch on that many of our students take advantage of, protecting their investment of international travel. That is available for any one of our programs. Finally, if we go back to that Ambassador magazine and you all open it up to the very center, you see a yellow guide in there. That yellow guide is actually golden in color because I call it a book of golden ideas. These are all different tried and true fundraising ideas that students just like you have taken advantage of. In addition, on the inside cover of that is our Pay Your Way website that has all sorts of scholarships and different opportunities that are available. And these are actual students who have traveled on our program. I encourage you to flip through that and look at some of the great ideas. And finally, if you look at the very back of your magazine, flip all the way to the back cover, you see kind of a crazy picture. It's a split face. That is one of our contests called Snap It, Tag It, Win It. If you go to that website and you download one of those pictures, and it doesn't have to be from the trip you want to go on, and you hold it up next to your face, and you have your mom or dad or your friend or brother or sister take your picture, and you submit it and win, you can win your entire tuition cost of your program. Every month, People to People runs different contests and different scholarship opportunities on our P2P Pay Your Way site. I strongly encourage you all to take a look and see what's available out there. Finally, I've done pretty well on keeping us on schedule, but I would like to ask very quickly that all the students in the room stand up. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you come up here and talk. First of all, I'd like to thank you boys and girls for making good choices and for being here today. And I'd like to encourage you, when you get in the car to go home with your mom or dad or grandma or friend or grandpa or aunt or uncle or whoever brought you here today, I'd like you to tell them why they should let you go on this program. Why do you want to be a student ambassador? Don't assume they know. Be ready to tell them why. And parents, I'd like to thank you for being here, because as a parent myself, I know what Saturdays are like. Soccer, dance, art, piano, synagogue, church, all the above. By being here today, you've shown your child that they're a priority and that their future is a priority to you. There's no better time than to get out to see the world. So kids, turn to your parents and say thank you. That was really weak. Thank you. When you leave, you can have a seat. When you leave here today, I would like to ask you to fill out that little white sticker on the outside of your application guide to select your interview time. And if you should so choose, complete that paper application to ensure you are one of the 40 from this greater area that is traveling on this particular delegation. Those of you that are at home joining us for our live streaming, you can go ahead and click on your Apply Now button right there on your home screen. And upon submitting your application, you will be contacted for an interview time. It was a pleasure to be here with you today. I am available for any question you have as long as you need me. Thank you very much. Have a great day.